Hello and welcome to another edition of the House Whisperer Show on WWDB Talk 860. Stay tuned for expert advice about maintaining your house from the roof to the basement, featuring professional home inspector Jack Milne. I'm Barry Reisman and very delighted to welcome Jack back to WWDB. How you doing, Jack?
I'm great.
You've got a great subject for today.
Well, today's topic, I know I might be a little bit past tense because I think a lot of people tend to go away over the Christmas and New Year's holiday, but, I still try to keep the show timely. So if I'm a little bit late, bear with me, but hey, if you're planning to go away in the future, that's what I want to talk on. Today's topic is how should I prepare my house if I'm going away? So as everybody knows, the House Whisperer topic is where every house has a story, and it's so true. And I just try to think of things on a daily basis or a weekly basis so I can prepare for the radio show. But before I kick in, of course, I want to thank my sponsors because I always say without them I wouldn't be on the air, and it's so true. So with Burrow Exterminating, they're located out of Glenolden, Pennsylvania. They're very good with destroying insect inspections, treatments, but also radon testing. So let's give a website today. Let's go to burrowexterminating.com. Bucksmont Inspections, again, anything that deals with on-site sewage treatment, evaluations, and replacement. Go ahead and visit them at bucksmontinspections.com. Of course, Pest Blaster. I've known these folks for going on probably 10 years. Very user-friendly. They do radon, mold, wood-destroying insect evaluations and treatment, as well as pest removal. So, if you're hearing that scratching above your ceiling or worse inside your walls, and you need some help, give them a buzz. And their website is literally pestblaster.com. And, of course, my company, Tri-County Inspection Company, we're at tcinspect.com. We just got new images up there so you can actually see what I look like. I always like to joke about that. But also the background of our inspectors. And we are in 13 counties, and we have specialists for anything that you're looking to buy, be it an old home or you're that investor that's buying that 30,000 square foot building in Pottstown. We can inspect it for you, and we'll offer a narrative report that you can use for the immediate literally days ahead for negotiating purposes, but plan your life in the future. And finally, brainflushgear.com. And literally they are a contact at brainflushgear.com, or go just to their website. And Barry, one thing I always seem to forget to bring up are podcasts, because you can hear me on Sunday, but during the week you can also go back to www.dbam.com and pick me up at your leisure. So I always seem to forget to throw that in there. So today I didn't want to forget. But as always, if you're using one of my vendors, please let them know that you've heard their ad on the House Whisperer show. So let me jump into the email box just real quick. Joanne from Medford. Jack, thanks for the show about sheds. My husband and I live in a planned community, and this show brought about great insight, particularly with the Homeowners Association rules. The rules stipulate nothing larger than a 72 square foot shed, and we were ready to buy an 8x10 shed, which it would have been too big, and now we have to settle for an 8x8. But the timing of your show saved us both time, aggravation, and money. So, thank you. And like always, Joanne, thank you. Any comments, please email me at thehousewhisperershow@gmail.com or visit our website at thehousewhisperershow.com. And don't forget the podcast. So, you can hear the show anytime during the week, again, just in case you miss me. So I like today's topic because I did have to go away right after the first of the year. And as I was doing my checklist, I thought that I would generate the same checklist for you. So first and foremost, tell only the people around you who are relevant to you that you're going away. Tell your parents, tell your kids, tell your close neighbors. I read something the other day in the paper that if you advertise over the internet to your Facebook, your Twitter accounts, Instagram, I'm hearing anymore, it's the number one source of break-ins. Because if you're advertising that you're going away to Hawaii for 3 weeks from January 1st to the 21st, guess what? You don't know whose friends are friends or friends are friends. And now all of a sudden you're advertising literally to the world that no one will be at your home for that period of time. So that's one of the number one reasons why houses are getting broken into, because you're blurting it to the world that you're going away. So please don't do that. I can't tell you, I found that number just astounding. But I'm going to actually create two lists. First off is going to be the obvious list. The other ones are the not so obvious list. So first off, check that all windows are locked. I mean, as a home inspector in vacant homes, it's amazing how many windows are left open. So don't forget to do that. It sounds stupid, but, sometimes it's so stupid that you don't even think about it. Here's a good one. Cancel the newspaper. You don't want a couple of weeks' worth of newspaper sitting on your stoop or your driveway or your front lawn, because that's just an advertisement to say, hey, guys, we're not here. Make yourself at home. So have a neighbor collect your mail while you're away. Again, I think mailboxes seem to get bigger. But no matter how big they are, they seem to overflow within a few days of time, especially for all that junk mail you don't need in the first place. I like this one. Keep a car in the driveway, but make sure, one, it's locked, and remove all those little things that I call the vitals, the garage door openers, the Easy Pass, radar detectors, GPS, credit cards, just in case the car does get broken into. And by the way, your registration. The car, though, at least represents there's a presence in the home. I had a good one the other day where a neighbor, and I do this for them, I move their car every couple of days, and just to a different spot in the driveway. Again, it just shows, and the proof of the show is to show that you're home when you're not. So I like to do that for my neighbor. Set timers in various lived rooms. So, for example, the family room and the master bedroom and the child's room, set them all at different times. And you want to do that to correspond with the time that you're typically there. So, for example, in the family room, you may want to set that, especially since it's still a little bit dark now, from maybe 5 to 11. In your child's room, maybe 7 to 10. In your own master bedroom, how about 9 to 11? So again, if they're clicking on at different times and clicking off at different times, it just shows a presence. But again, you're not there. So if you have a sliding glass door, add what they call a Charlie bar, which is a broomstick, and that can be installed either in the track, or you can actually buy a nice formal one from the depots and set it at the midpoint. But it offers an obstruction. Turn off your laundry supply lines. I think that's a great one, because we tend to walk by the laundry room, at least with mine, every time you go out the garage door. So if you have a single lever shutoff, flip it down. If you have gate valves, turn them off. Ball valves, slide them to the side. But don't forget to do that. And, I always encourage my homeowners to install what are called stainless steel or braided laundry lines, because we can always see the top of the supply, but we can't see where it adjoins to the washer. And believe me, folks, if that line blows while you're away, it's more than ServPro, okay? So, accidents can happen while you're away, and that's one of those things that you can prevent. Here's a good one. Check the operation of your sump pump. If you have a finished basement and you have a battery backup, what you want to do is make sure that you check its operation, but also check the water levels in the battery, because honestly, folks, when was the last time that you actually did it? And if you go more than 90 days without filling those cells with distilled water, folks, that pump may not work at all. So, check your primary, check your secondary, make sure they work, because there's too many stories in the home inspection profession where we listed the house. Now let's go take that long-awaited cruise, because now we can finally relax, and the sump pump fails. And the neighbor calls, the police, because they've seen your sump pump operating for the last 4 days and nobody's home. So that one's very important. So Barry, before I break into the not so obvious, how about if we take a station break?
That's a good idea. I'll tell you, I didn't think of 90% of the things you've said so far. This is worth its weight in gold. All these tips. Just one of these tips can save you from a nightmare, can't it?
Oh, it's unbelievable, and it's not. That's why I said this is the obvious list.
Oh yeah, well I didn't think of 90% of the obvious. What about turning off the water altogether? Turning off your water in the house.
Well, I think that's a good point, Barry, and I think that depends on time away. So if it's going to be a long weekend, do the obvious. But if you know that you're going to be away a week or 2 weeks or more, yeah, absolutely. Go to your water main and shut that down.
And your point about Facebook, you are so right. So many people brag on there. I'm going away. We're going to Hawaii. We'll be back in 2 weeks, giving a notice to all the criminals.
Yeah.
Great tip. We're going to take a break, like you said, Jack. You're listening to the House Whisperer Show with Jack Milne right here at WWDB. Pay close attention. We'll be right back.
Boro Exterminating has been specializing in wood-destroying insect inspection and control for over 40 years, serving Philadelphia and the surrounding counties. All inspectors are state certified and ensure providing their clients with professional inspections and treatments. Boro not only performs conventional termite treatments, but also handles special services like historic buildings and homes with wells, creeks, or ponds. The client is assured that all treatments will be performed safely when you hire Boro to do the work. They also provide radon testing in their service area. Boro's full-time office staff is available to help you schedule an appointment. Just call 610-586-5640 or send an email request to boroinspects@verizon.net. That's 610-586-5640 or email at boroinspects@verizon.net.
Specially created t-shirts by BrainFlushGear.com offer the extreme sports enthusiast an opportunity to have a clothing line available that suits their sport. BrainFlushGear.com understands that when we get the moment where we can jump on our motorcycles, wave runners, surfboards, snowmobiles, or skateboards, it can be priceless. They offer custom artwork including silk screening, transfers, and embroidery. Speak to one of their consultants today and they'll help you create your own Brain Flush. Visit BrainFlushGear.com or email them at contact@BrainFlushGear.com.
For your septic inspection and testing needs, please consider Bucksmont Inspections. They've been serving the Bucks and Montgomery County areas for over 15 years. As members of the Pennsylvania Septic Management Association, the Pennsylvania Association of Sewage Enforcement Officers, and the Pennsylvania Association for Professional Soil Scientists, Bucksmont Inspections can inspect your existing septic system or test for your new septic system placement. Please call Rob Bowie at 215-669-4213 and say you heard their ad on the House Whisperer Show.
As the weather gets cooler and the temperatures drop, the bugs might slow down, but the rodents don't stop. Mice and rats begin to invade homes during the fall and winter months, looking for food, warmth, and a comfortable place to nest. Don't wait for pesky rodents to invade your home. Fight back. Have your home baited and ready for their attack with Pest Blaster. Whether preventative or a full-blown infestation, give Pest Blaster a call at 215-295-5555 and they can discuss the solution to your problem. They also offer humane animal removal services for a wide variety of wild animals, damage repairs, and cleanups. Call them today at 215-295-5555 or check them out at pestblaster.com, servicing both New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Pest Blaster, 215-295-5555 or pestblaster.com for all your pest control needs.
Tri-County Inspection Company has been providing professional home inspections, commercial inspections, and historic property evaluations for over 25 years. Tri-County Inspection Company covers 13 counties, serving both New Jersey and Pennsylvania. They've performed inspections for over 70,000 clients and are members of the American Society of Home Inspectors, as well as the Pennsylvania Home Inspectors Coalition. They are licensed in both Philadelphia and New Jersey. For all of your real estate transactions, call Tri-County Inspections at 215-295-2030. For their New Jersey clientele, call 856-853-4224. In PA, call 215-295-2030. In New Jersey, 856-853-4224.
Our house is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard.
Okay, we are back with Jack Milne, the House Whisperer, and what an amazing show this is today. Things you should do to your home and things you should do if you're going away. And Jack, I can't wait to hear the rest of what you have to say, so go ahead.
Well, thank you, Barry. And again, what I love about this show is it's, every person that listens to these segments can do these things on their own. It's not something that you have to hire a professional for. And a lot of the things that we do in our home really comes down to common sense. So it's not as easy as just, locking the door and driving away. You have to make sure that your house stays in the same position that it was when you left it. And it's, I always call it the what if list. What if this happened, or what if that happened while we're away? How would you handle it? How would anybody handle it? So you don't have the means, and you're definitely too far away to come home. So it can ruin a vacation. Once again, if that sump pump's been running for the last 4 days, the police notify you and say, I know you're enjoying yourself in the Bahamas, but... So all of a sudden, you've got to book that flight. It's costing you a ton more because it's last minute. It's not planned. So that's why I said listen to today, and let's jump into this not-so-obvious list. So first off, think your thermostat, okay? Now, if you're going away over the winter, I would not lower your thermostat any less than 60 degrees. Now, most of us find our comfort levels anywhere between probably 68 and 72, but there's also that temptation that, while we're away, let's not heat the house. Let's bring it down to 55. Folks, I've seen 55 in vacant homes, and sometimes it's not pretty. You can walk into that house, and the realtor, puts that main water valve on, and all of a sudden the ceiling drops out of the dining room from the bathroom above. So 55 is risky. 50 is worse. So, set your thermostat at 60. It's going to keep the house comfortable, and you don't have to worry about coming home to frozen pipes, because that's not a good way to finish a vacation. But you can lower the thermostat on your water heater, to vacation mode, especially if it's gas. So you don't have to be manufacturing hot water when no one's drawing it. And especially with gas, that recovers about 35 gallons of hot water an hour. So, as soon as you're back in the door, crank it up to your, setting of about 130 degrees, depending on your lifestyle, depending on your children and bathrooms. But within 20 minutes, everybody's going to be ready to jump in that shower, after spending a long day on the road. So with electric water heaters, you can lower them too. You just have to take those element covers off and use a pocket screwdriver and lower the temperature down. But keep in mind, an electric water heater is going to take longer to generate that hot water. So that's only about 17 gallons per hour. So if you have an 80-gallon tank that you've dropped down to about 100 degrees or so, that might take a couple hours maybe to get you back to your shower temperature. But do it. Why pay for it when it's not being used? For the summer months, I know we're tempted to turn off the air conditioner, but my advice is it's actually better for your home as well as your health to raise your thermostat to 80, but keep the fan on the blower on. Okay? So what you're doing is, as you're circulating the air around the home, you're removing the humidity. It's the humidity that makes us uncomfortable. You know, when we're outside and it's 95 degrees with 95% relative humidity, guys, hey, we're all sweating. So basically, by setting your house on auto, it's going to make your house sweat, which is going to raise your humidity levels within the home. So just by keeping that fan on, you're actually dropping the humidity down to a comfort level. So if you've been away for that week to 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever it is, when you come home and you lower your thermostat back down to that 77, 76, which makes your house, by the way, feel in the low 70s, it's going to take you about a half hour to bring your house back to your comfort level rather than 6 hours because humidity level's through the roof. And keep in mind, you know, especially during the summer, man, we have these torrential rains. We have, you know, normal humidity that's coming into your house via the foundation, sump pumps, and we're running that dehumidifier like crazy. The last thing you want to do is have a high humidity level in your home because you know that actually can bring in mold. So always keep the fan on when cooling, but auto for heating. For the winter, you know, just, you know, again, this is kind of on the stupid list, but verify that your hose bibs are turned off and drained and the hoses are removed. I mean, over the last couple of weeks, we've had that temperature that dropped down to, 5, Barry, and 7 degrees.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, bitter cold. So, you know, again, winter travel, and it's, you know, again, you know, you probably did this already, but, you know, just verify that your hoses have been removed because the water will freeze inside the hose first and then pass back to the hose bib, breaking it. So, you know, when the temperatures start to rise again, you can actually have a broken pipe inside the wall cavity, and that's just a disaster. But if it's summer months, you know, do yourself a favor, just remove the hoses anyway. Alert your security company that you're going away. It seems like every time I go away over the summer, my security system goes off, and it's not the fault of someone who's tried to break in. Sometimes it's just the fault of the security system. So you want to notify them that you're going away. Notify that neighbor who's number one on your list that you're going away. This way, in case there's that false alarm, again, you don't have to come rushing home, and the police aren't going to be knocking on your door if it is a false alarm, because now in most municipalities it's a finable offense. So again, I think that is one company that you do want to notify. I like this one. Don't cancel your lawn or pool maintenance people. Again, you want this. You want it to be known that you're home, even though while you're away. So let the folks cut your lawn. Let the pool people clean and service your pool. Make it look like you're home. And you know what? They're going to be dropping their bills in the mailbox anyway. And you know what? They don't need to know that you're away. Because, again, if you're getting your lawn cut once a week, who cares? Or once every 2 weeks. So, again, let them do their job. I like this one. Leave your blinds half open. Okay? Because, you know, most people open their blinds in the morning and they may close them at night. But, again, if you have your lights on timers and the lights are dark, who knows? And so, again, it's a simple thing that's easy to do. Now, in our home, we have what I call the slatted blinds. You know, it looks like grandma's, but, you know, they're back in vogue right now. And, you know, my wife has this tendency of turning the blinds up. Now, when you turn your blinds up, you can actually look into the room. Okay? Now, if you turn your slats down so that the bottom of the slat is facing the floor, you can't see in at all. So if you don't have this comfort level with having the blinds left half open, again, giving the presence at your home, then go ahead and close them down, but turn the slats down, because I can tell you, when you're close to a home with the slats up, you can actually see into the house. Okay? Try that at home. So, you know, again, turn them down. If you have any outbuildings, and we did a segment on outbuildings not too long ago in garages, Again, sounds stupid, but make sure your shed's locked, okay, or that any other outbuilding is locked. Don't forget that, because I know, being the dad, everything seems to fall on me. I'm the pack mule. I got to move all the luggage out to the car. I've got to make sure that the dog is taken care of. I've got to make sure that I'm doing all this list that I'm giving you today. And all of a sudden, I'm realizing myself that I'm not half ready to leave. So, I always ask my clients, and I'm going to ask you too, is that before you actually pull out of the driveway, do a walk around the house and just make sure that everything has been taken care of, because you've got to get to the airport, or you've got to get to here, or you've got to get to there. You told friends and family that you're going to be at a certain point, and it always happens. You're leaving 20 minutes later than what you planned. So you're into this last-minute panic. Did I take care of everything that I needed to? But, exhale, okay, because that's the best thing for you. And then, again, do the circumference around the property. And, always make sure that, your outdoor lighting works. That should be done maybe 2 or 3 days before you leave. Make sure that your sensors work. Make sure that your lights are actually functioning, that they haven't burned out. And one of the things I like to do is install a timer, again, on a post light. I love post lights because it not only lights the front of your home, but it lights up the street in front of your home. And I also like to put one by my front door. And again, you can set these timers for different times. The moral of the story is, give the presence like your home so that you can relax while you're away. And isn't that what we need vacations for anyway? Just a breakaway, and sit on the beach, or take that cruise, or visit again your mother, your father, your siblings, so you don't have to worry about the house when you're supposed to be relaxing.
Boy, did you give us great information today.
Well, thank you, Barry. And as I always like to say, as it is Sunday, please spend time with friends and family. They are important, very important part of your growth and of your life. So I look forward to seeing you next week on The House Whisperer.
And tune in again next week for another edition of The House Whisperer Show with professional home inspector Jack Milne. To listen to previous programs, or if you have any questions, visit thehousewhisperershow.com. I'm Barry Reisman. Thank you so much for listening to WWDB.